Welcome to The Wise Guides. I'm Evie. I'm your host, and I'm also a first-gen professional with over a decade of experience in corporate HR. I'm here to provide you with practical guides on how to increase your wealth and your happiness at work. Whether you're feeling like an imposter in that new job, juggling a million responsibilities, or just trying to get your foot in the door, this is your space to find real, no BS advice, hear from people who have already been there, and maybe even laugh a little along the way. So grab your coffee or your glass of wine, settle in, and let's dive into today's topic. You are exactly where you need to be. So today's episode tackles a tough and anxiety-inducing topic, so apologies in advance. What do you do when you feel like you're about to get fired? Let's be real. Whether it's just a quiet thought, a series of awkward interactions with your manager, or just imposter syndrome, that feeling inside can feel overwhelming. Maybe you're noticing subtle signs like fewer invites to meetings, vague feedback from your manager, or your boss suddenly typing with extra punctuation in Slack messages like, "Let's talk ASAP." Yikes. Here's the thing. Feeling like you're on the chopping block doesn't always mean that you actually are, but it is a signal that something might be off. The good news here is that you have the power to take some kind of action. So today, let's explore why you might be feeling this way, how to get clarity, and most importantly, how to course correct before it's too late. All right, so let's dig into why this topic actually matters. First off, you're not alone. A survey by BetterUp found that nearly 60% of employees experience workplace anxiety. One of the most common triggers of this anxiety is job security. The fear of being fired isn't just about losing a paycheck. Although that's stressful enough, it's about what it represents. For many of us, our jobs are tied to our sense of identity and self-worth. The idea of losing that stability can feel like a personal failure. But here's the thing. That fear often stems from either a lack of communication or a gap of expectations between you and your manager. And the truth is, many people who feel like they're about to get fired are actually really far from it. From the HR perspective, if a company is planning on letting somebody go, it's usually after a series of clear indicators, like declining performance, repeated missed company goals, a major behavioral or conduct issue. Most managers aren't in the business of going around firing people just because. In fact, they're often looking for ways to help you improve first. So if you're feeling this way, it's worth taking a step back and asking, is this fear based on evidence, or is it just plain anxiety that's playing tricks on me? So let's talk about the challenges that come with feeling like you're about to be fired, because this experience can really mess with your head. Number one is you are overanalyzing every single interaction. You start by reading into every email and every meeting invite, or worse, lack of email or invite. My manager just said, "Can we talk?" What does that mean? Next is self-sabotage. Whether you're consumed by fear, you might start by disengaging from your work or avoiding it altogether. Ironically, this can actually create the exact outcomes that you're afraid of. Lack of communication. If you're not clear on your performance expectations or where you stand, it's easy for anxiety to fill in the blanks with the worst case scenario. Loss of confidence. Feeling like you're on the edge of being fired can erode your confidence, making it harder for you to perform well or for you to advocate for yourself. If any of these situations sounds familiar, take a deep breath. These challenges are real, but they're also manageable, and they're pretty common. And I've got some steps to help you navigate them. So let's get practical. How do you move from "I'm about to be fired" to "I have the confidence where I can take as many days off as I want"? First is we want to get clear on our expectations. The first step is to understand where you actually stand. If you're not sure, ask. I know this can sound scary, but you want to schedule a one-on-one with your manager. And you want to say something like, "I want to make sure we're on the same page and that I'm meeting expectations and contributing effectively. Can we discuss any areas for improvement or areas that I can focus on?" This shows that you have taken charge of any opportunities or any gaps in your performance, and you are taking ownership of trying to align their goals and their expectations to your actual performance. This is a great leadership skill to showcase to your manager. Next is you want to reflect on your feedback. Take a step back and review any feedback that you've been given. It's difficult sometimes for us to receive feedback and not have an emotional response to it. So once you've had the chance to have your emotional reaction, you want to take a step back and be logical about the feedback that you received. Have there been consistent themes or areas for improvement that you've received over time, or maybe even across different jobs? The action step here is to write down any recurring feedback and identify 1 or 2 areas that you can work on immediately. For example, if communication has been identified as something that you need to develop on, make an effort to over communicate on your progress, on your projects. Maybe you want to ask your manager, what is the best way for me to communicate the progress on this project for you? How do you envision this working out? How do you envision me communicating about this project? Next, we want to proactively address issues. If there's a specific concern, let's tackle it head on. Managers appreciate employees who take the initiative to improve. You want to create a plan of action for addressing the issues and share it with your manager. For example, I realized that I missed a key deadline last month. Here's what I'm doing to ensure that it doesn't happen again. If you have a bigger issue that's maybe a soft skill or attached to a soft skill, maybe figure out which classes you can take to start developing that skill. Maybe time management is a gap for you. So you're going to take a few classes on time management. Make sure you communicate that with your manager so that they know that you are proactively trying to address the issues. Next is you want to strengthen your relationships. This is actually a secret key to making sure that you feel job security. Building trust and rapport with your manager and your team can go a really long way to easing concerns. Developing relationships with people help you understand where you stand with them. Make it a point to check in regularly with your manager, not just about work, but also to build a stronger connection. If you don't already have one-on-one set on your calendar on a reoccurring basis, you want to ensure that you're having these regular meetings, either weekly, bi-weekly, or at least monthly with your manager. Number 5, you want to prepare a backup plan. Sometimes, despite your best efforts, things just don't work out, and that's okay. Having a backup plan can give you a peace of mind. Start by updating your resume and your LinkedIn profile. Start networking casually, even if you're not actively job hunting. You want to feel like there's a backup plan in place so that it comes with a little less anxiety if sometimes the unspeakable happens. Here's a stat to keep in mind. According to a report by Zippia, around 40% of employees who are laid off find a new job within 3 months, and 65% find a job within 6 months. So even in the worst case scenario, you are likely to bounce back quicker than you actually think. Being prepared makes you feel a lot more confident in being able to approach that if you do happen to be laid off. I know this process can feel overwhelming, and sometimes it's hard to figure out the right next step on your own, and this is where coaching can come in. Coaching can help provide you with perspectives and help you speak out what's actually happening to someone who is unbiased and unrelated to what's happening in your workplace. Give an outsider perspective on their specific take, especially if it's an HR professional that knows some of the writing on the wall sometimes with situations that involve a layoff or a termination that's upcoming. Here's a little perspective. Gallup reports that 70% of the variation in team engagement is tied to the manager. If you're struggling to understand your manager's expectations or repair that relationship, coaching can help you find a strategy that actually works. So today we talked about what to do when you feel like you're about to get fired. We've covered why this fear happens, the importance of getting clarity, and actionable steps to actually address these concerns and improve your situation. Here's the big takeaway. Feeling like you're about to get fired doesn't mean it's a done deal. In fact, it's often an opportunity for you to course correct and build a stronger relationship with your manager and your overall team. If this episode resonated with you, make sure to share it with a friend or a coworker who you feel like might need it. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. It really helps more people find the wise guides. And just like that, you've received your dose of work wisdom. I hope you're walking away with something that makes you feel a little bit more confident, a little bit more seen, and a whole lot more capable. Remember that the journey is yours. There's no one right way to do it, and it's okay to take it one step at a time. If today's topic hit home for you and you're thinking you can use a little extra support, I'd love to chat one-on-one. Head over to the show notes so you can figure out how to book some time with me. And if you enjoyed hanging out with me, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future episodes. And if you're feeling a little generous, please leave a quick review. It can help more people like us find the show. Plus, I'd love to hear what you think. Let's keep the conversation going. Follow me on Instagram at WorkWiseGuide.